Greetings and welcome to another Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team video. Today I'm going over Tac Ops for Kill Team, giving them my personal ratings and how you should best use them for your own games and kill teams, because they're a key concept and part of the game. This is based off of all my experience with the game using multiple kill teams, as well as, playing in a couple of tournaments recently. So I'd like to think my knowledge is much better now, and that's why I'm comfortable talking about, this tactics video. Before we get into things, please remember to like and subscribe, as well as comment about what you thought of the video and if it was useful and would you like to see more tactics videos in the future for Kill Team. And also remember, I've done this as an article as well, so if you want to check that out instead, you can see it in the episode description down below. So what are Tac Ops? Tac Ops are basically the secondary objectives for Kill Team, similar to how they work in the current edition of, 9th edition for Warhammer 40,000. They are used in matched play and narrative play for Kill Team. When playing in matched play, Tac Ops help you win in Kill Team by granting you a maximum of 6 victory points for your total victory points at the end of the game. When you can only score a maximum of 12 victory points from your primary mission, Tac Ops become a huge factor in basically deciding who wins games of Kill Team, not to mention when it comes to ranking in tournaments as well for tiebreakers. Because, as I said, in match play tournaments, for example, in the last Warhammer World Kill Team event, they based wins as the first deciding factor, and then the number of Tac Op victory points you've scored to decide who is actually a winner, in tie-breaking situations. So to summarize, Tac Ops are a crucial part for Kill Team, determining who wins and who loses, especially when most Tac Ops are far harder to score than the primary mission objective. Tac Ops can be secret or public knowledge. By this, Tac Ops are either revealed during the target reveal step of a turning point, or when they are triggered / when it's directed so upon the Tac Op itself. This can allow for mind games, as if later in the game Tac Ops still aren't revealed, maybe because you're trying to hold off on revealing what you're trying to score, or because you just haven't reached that trigger, or maybe it's unscorable now. Because your opponent can't tell, they always have to play as if you're holding on to a Tac Op that you're waiting just to trigger and score. It's mind games, basically. Scoring Tac Ops is hugely important, but having the ability to deny your opponent scoring Tac Ops is even more important, I would say. When it comes to selecting Tac Ops, your selection is based upon the archetype that is available to your fire team / kill team. These are broken down into 4 different archetypes, which I'll cover shortly. Each archetype has 6 Tac Ops, which you select as written in the core rules, which is basically drawing 2, discarding 1 until you end up with 3 chosen Tac Ops. Selecting your archetype is hugely important because it requires if it's syncing with the mission, as well as factoring in who you are playing against, and well as if even your kill team can actually score the Tac Op archetype you're selecting. You're also not locked into an archetype for a tournament, so you can change what archetype you're picking based on the game by game basis, unless you only have a single archetype to select from. Although the key thing here is to remember you still cannot mix and match Tac Ops from multiple archetypes. You can only ever select one archetype per game and go from there. Finally, the biggest factor in picking Tac Ops is selecting those which are not normally available to the fire team you are using. Now what I mean by this is when you're playing a compendium kill team, your kill team is usually made up of 2 fire teams, and generally those will have different archetypes you can select from. How this works is that it gives one of your fire teams access to an archetype that they would not normally be able to use if you just ran 2 of that same fire team. For example, the easiest thing for me to show off is with a Genestealer fire team. Normally that just has Infiltration and Seek and Destroy. But if you combine that with the Tyrannid Swarm kill team, it gives you, fire team, it gives you access to Recon and Security. And those are really powerful archetypes, especially for the Genestealers. Now, Recon requires you to have a lot of mobility, which I'll cover later, and the Genestealers basically free that up for Recon, making Recon a really good pick for Genestealers who normally can't pick that. So that's just some examples of what you can do if you're playing a compendium kill team. Now, if you're playing one of the fleshed out kill teams, You can't do that because you just have one kill team, but it's something to remember if you're a compendium player. For the first archetype, we have Seek and Destroy. Seek and Destroy is basically the killing archetype. This archetype rewards you for killing, whether it be near or afar. It's simple to play, but also simple to play around. Headhunter is revealed when you incapacitate an enemy leader. It grants you 1 VP and then another 1 VP if you completed it within the first or second turning point. It's actually very easy to complete and max out, especially for shooting kill teams. Headhunter can also force your opponent to play more defensively with their leader if they know you're playing Seek and Destroy, which is even more beneficial to you, so I rate it 4 out of 5. Challenge is revealed during the first turning point where you nominate a friendly operative and an enemy operative. If your operative incapacitates the enemy operative, gain 1 VP. If it does that while within red of that enemy operative, you score another 1 VP. Once again better for ranged operatives, but really hard to max out even then. It causes a lot of mind games, but challenge is both good and bad overall, so I rate it 3 out of 5. Note, it is much better if you can somehow have extra mobility to quickly close the gap and quickly kill that target, but once again that depends on what faction you're playing. Route is revealed during any turning point. If you incapacitate an enemy operative with a friendly operative who is within red of the opponent's drop zone, you get 1 VP. If you achieve this condition again later in another turning point, score another 1 VP. This is definitely more melee focused, but aggressive ranged fighters can score this too. Remember, it's your operative that has to be within range of the deployment zone, not the opponent. I like Route for the strong aggressive kill teams as it's a perfect fit for them, especially when contesting objectives, so I rate it 4 out of 5. Execution is only revealed at the end of a turning point where more enemy operatives were incapacitated when compared to friendly. Complete this condition during 2 or more turning points for 1 VP, then 3 or more for 2 VP. This is actually quite difficult to trigger, let alone score. Execution favours elite kill teams, but at times even they can struggle to score this. I would have preferred this Tac Op if you could at least just reveal it normally instead, so for that reason I rate it as a 2 out of 5. Deadly Marksman has you secretly nominate a friendly operative to be your marksman. You can only reveal this Tac Op when your marksman incapacitates an enemy operative while you are wholly within blue of your deployment zone. Then you score 1 VP when your marksman incapacitates another enemy operative with a shooting attack. If your marksman has not been incapacitated by the end of the game, score another VP. This is just rough. Once again, a restrictive reveal condition that requires you to hang back in your drop zone. This is fine, but good table setups should have all defensible vantage points and terrain pieces outside of your deployment on not really that close. You're also locked into shooting attacks, and Deadly Marksman is just difficult to max out. So for that, I rate it as a 2 out of 5. Rob and Ransack, the misprinted Tac Op card. Reveal when an enemy operative is incapacitated by a friendly operative while within black, and your friendly operative is more than blue from other enemy operatives. This scores you 1 VP. If that friendly operative has not been incapacitated by the end of the game, score another 1 VP. Overall, while locked to melee operatives, Rob and Ransack is actually pretty easy to score, although difficult to max out. This Tac Op is scored easier later in the game, which can either be a pro or a con depending on how you view it, so I rate it as a 3 out of 5. Overall, Seek and Destroy is good on paper and rewards aggressive play. However, I find that while you can have the same operative scoring multiple of the Tac Ops, you're locked into that and lose a lot of flexibility, especially if you're relying on a single specialist to score 2 or even 3 of your Tac Ops, and once they're gone, it's basically all gone, especially when it comes to stuff like Challenge, where you have to nominate one of your operatives. Not only that, but opponents can play more defensively when they find out you're playing Seek and Destroy while still playing the mission, so they can still effectively score all their primaries and the Tac Ops while denying yours quite effectively. Does this mean Seek and Destroy is bad? No, it just makes it quite balanced, which is really good. It's balanced, but definitely not the best to use. I find it good for learning the game with, but it can be heavily punished by experienced players. Security is the more defensive archetype. It rewards you for holding and protecting ground. Simple, but you must watch out for aggressive counterplay. Seize ground is revealed during the first turning point. Select a single terrain piece with the heavy trait more than blue from your drop zone. Score 1 VP at the end of the game for having more friendly APL within black of the terrain feature than the opponent. Score another 1 VP if there are no enemy operatives within black of the terrain feature, and the total APL of friendly operatives within black is 4 or more. As an endgame Tac Op, Seize Ground will generally force you into the opponent's half. It's not bad with decent counterplay, but scoring it depends on how well your game goes overall, so I rate it as a 3 out of 5. Hold the Line is revealed during any turning point outside the first. Score 1 VP at the end of a turning point if there are no enemy operatives within red of your drop zone. Complete this in another turning point for 1 VP. This is quite difficult as you only have 3 turning points to score Hold the Line. If you can somehow keep the opponent away from your drop zone, then sure, but a good opponent should be applying pressure to get close to you. However, Hold the Line is far more effective with heavily distanced drop zones or strong melee kill teams, or especially when facing against slow and elite kill teams. So still, I rate it as a 2 out of 5, just narrowly missing out on that 3 score. Protect Assets is revealed during any turning point. Score 1 VP for incapacitating 2 or more enemy operatives within white of an objective marker, or if they're carrying at that turning point. Do this in another turning point for 1 more VP. I think Protect Assets is great. Your opponent has to be on the objectives, so you'll be naturally scoring this anyway. The only drawback is against elite kill teams of 3 to 4 operatives, but that is only the real downside for Protect Assets. Otherwise, that's why I rate it as a 4 out of 5. Damage Limitation is revealed in any turning point outside of the first. If no friendly operatives are incapacitated at that turning point, score 1 VP. Do it in another turning point for 1 VP. Only good in elite kill teams, and even then damage limitation is a struggle. Once again, you only have 3 turning points to score this, and making sure no friendly operatives are incapacitated is rough, even for the most elite of kill teams due to how damage works now, so I rate it as a 1 out of 5. Plant Banner has you secretly note a friendly operative to be carrying your banner token. You reveal this Tac Op whenever you drop the banner token. Once done so, any friendly operative can do the pickup action on it. Score 1 VP if the banner token is within red of the enemy drop zone, but not wholly within. Score 2 VP instead if it wholly within your opponent's drop zone. Enemy operatives can also destroy your banner for 1 AP if within black of the banner token, while none of your operatives are within white. I oddly really like Plant Banner. At first I was turned off by it, but you can basically keep it secret until the end of the game and score 2 VP from it. Even if the carrier dies, another friendly operative can pick it up, plus dropping the banner is free, so do it at the start or end of an activation. Requires movement and slight trickery, but well worth it for a late game 2 VP, so I rate it as 4 out of 5. Central Control is revealed during any turning point. At the end of a turning point, if you have more friendly APL within blue of the center of the kill zone, you score 1 VP. Do this again in any other turning point for another 1 VP. Once again, you should be doing this in general, especially on missions with a central objective marker. Easy and beneficial to score. The only downside is for super elite kill teams, but even then you don't have to spend 4 turning points in the middle of the board to score Central Control, and that's why I'm rating it as a 5 out of 5. It's probably the best Tac Op in the entire game. Security is an amazing Tac Op archetype which has only grown on me more with time. Half of its Tac Ops just reward you for playing the game and keeping the opponent away. You only have one real dud of a Tac Op in damage limitation, but in return you have so many good Tac Ops to select from. It's even good for melee teams as you run forward and apply the pressure, basically denying your opponent the ability to come back and challenge you anyway, or forcing them to come to you because of your defensive Tac Ops while still being an aggressive force. It's just such a good Tac Op archetype for kill team. Infiltration is interesting as it doesn't really tie into the main primary mission objectives. Instead, it makes you do things separately in tandem to playing the main mission of the game, such as by doing, secret infiltration operations. Capture hostage and infiltrate is revealed when you incapacitate an enemy operative within white of one of yours, who is also more than red away from another enemy operative. Then remove that friendly operative from the game for 1 VP and score another 1 VP if you complete this Tac Op during turning point 3 or 4. I'm torn on this. I like the late scoring aspect of capture hostage and infiltrate, but losing an operative for this is a steep cost, even towards the end of a game. Good if you're steaming ahead and outnumbering the foe, but bad if, well, for the opposite reasons. So I'm rating it as a 2 out of 5. Behind enemy lines is revealed during any turning point. If one or more friendly operatives are wholly within your opponent's drop zone and more than blue from enemy operatives, score 1 VP. Score another 1 VP if you complete this condition during any other turning point. Unless your kill team has access to mobility or redeployment abilities, behind enemy lines is a tough Tac Op to score. You're once again effectively throwing away an operative to score this, and that doesn't seem like a good idea when you need to contest the objectives. So I'm rating it as a 2 out of 5. Upload viral code is revealed during any turning point. If a friendly operative performs the upload viral code action, score 1 VP. Do this in any other turning point for 1 more VP. Upload viral code is a 2 AP action that can be performed while within red of your opponent's drop zone and not within white of any enemy operatives. If you're fast, have 3 or more APL and the bodies to perform upload viral code, then this Tac Op is fine. Otherwise you're going to be in a rough spot. Hard to see anyone scoring this consistently outside of maybe Space Marines. Rating 2 out of 5. Implant is revealed when you strike an opponent in combat. Instead of inflicting damage to an enemy operative with a strike, you can implant them instead and do no damage but gain 1 VP. Implant 2 other enemy operatives for 1 VP. This is actually pretty good for any melee kill team. Great when used on 4/5 attack operatives that have a guaranteed kill and have spare strikes to use. Not super easy to score, but the surprise factor is nice as well, so I rate it 3 out of 5. Sabotage is revealed during any turning point. Perform sabotage for 1 VP on a terrain feature. Do this again on another terrain feature even during the same turning point for 1 VP. Sabotage is a 2 AP action that you can do while within black of a heavy trait terrain feature that is wholly within or within red of your enemy drop zone. You still have to be more than white away from the enemy. The same points as upload viral code apply here. The good thing is you can max out sabotage in a single turning point, but it's still quite restrictive overall. Interloper is revealed when you perform the interlope action. You have to secretly note one of your operatives to be the interloper. The interlope action is 1 AP and can only be performed while within black of the enemy kill zone edge and more than blue from enemy operatives. The only downside is you have to designate your interloper before the game begins. If it was any friendly operative, then I would have liked this much more. You're also effectively throwing away an operative for 2 VP. Great if you have excess bodies to throw away, but once again, you're losing an operative that can fight over the points. Although this is great to use on a wounded operative that has killed their way to the edge, so I rate it as a 3 out of 5. Infiltration is a weird Tac Op archetype. I like it, but all its Tac Ops force you to do other stuff instead of focusing on the main mission. To play Infiltrate well, you need a mix of large bodies, mobility, and lots of APL spare to use. That's just a lot to ask for when you're looking for maximum efficiency from your Tac Ops, which is probably why it's, in my opinion, the worst of the 4 Tac Op archetypes. Recon works out in a similar vein to Infiltration, rewarding you for battlefield control and holding certain parts of the kill zone. Mark target is revealed when you perform a shoot action. When shooting an enemy leader, you can complete the shoot action as normal but do no damage instead and score 1 VP if you would have successfully scored damage. Do this again in another turning point for 1 more VP. This is great for kill teams with lots of disposable shooting. However, I find you often want leaders dead ASAP, so leaving potential kills is going to be a choice you need to evaluate. So I rate it as a 3 out of 5. Triangulate is revealed during any turning point. Triangulate 2 kill zone edges for 1 VP, do 3 for another 1 VP. Triangulate is 1 AP for performing while within blue of a kill zone edge that is not your own and has not already been triangulated. You cannot do this while within white of the enemy. This Tac Op is actually pretty easy to max out. Turning point 1 you can triangulate 2 kill zone edges, then leave the third for later in the game as you naturally advance. Triangulate only being 1 AP2 is a great boon. So for that reason I rate it as a 4 out of 5. Plant Signal Beacon is revealed when you perform the Plant Signal Beacon action. Score 2 VP if your beacon token is within red of the enemy drop zone. The Plant Signal Beacon action is 2 AP performed once per game and has to be placed within black of your operative while not within white of the enemy. If enemy operatives finish a move within black of your token or more than white from friendly operatives, your beacon token is removed. Again, I really like Plant Signal Beacon. can be scored late in the game and is difficult for your opponent to interrupt, while also having a generous scoring range. 2 AP cost is rough, but it's still a great tac op for aggressive players, so rate as a 4 out of 5. Vantage is revealed during any turning point. If a friendly operative performs the Vantage action, score 1 VP. Do this in any other turning point for 1 VP. Vantage is a 2 AP action that you can perform while on a vantage point. You cannot perform this while within white of the opponent and on a vantage point that has already had this action performed on it already. I feel this tac op is great for kill teams with lots of operatives. 2 AP is a steep cost, but if you're not going to shoot with a lasgun or spending time getting a weak melee operative into position, etc., then it's not such a big loss, so rate it as 3 out of 5. Retrieval is revealed during the first turning point. Your opponent gets to place a retrieval token anywhere in the kill zone that is not a vantage point and not on or wholly within blue of their drop zone. Only friendly operatives can perform the pick up action on the retrieval token. If you control this token, score 1 VP. If it is being carried by a friendly operative, score 1 VP as well. I find this tac op is actually quite reliable to score. Sure, your opponent dictates where it goes, but not in such a way that it's impossible for you to reach. Generally it'll be in the middle of the board, and it becomes another point your opponent has to defend. Save for scoring in turning point 4 once you've maxed out on primary for a juicy 2 VP, so I rate it as a 4 out of 5. Overrun is revealed during any turning point. Have friendly operatives within each quarter of the kill zone and more than blue from the center for 1 VP. Do this again in another turning point for another 1 VP. This is great for aggressive and fast kill teams. The only thing you have to watch out for is when outnumbered and playing on 5 objective missions. Otherwise, this is very easy to score and max out, leaving your opponent little chance to stop you outside of trying to kill all your operatives. Rating 4 out of 5. Recon is great for fast kill teams, favouring those that can run 10 operatives or more. It does what Infiltration wants to do, but much better. You can still play the primary while doing the odd Recon tac op at no disadvantage to yourself, really. Most of Recon's tac ops either slightly distract from the mission or contribute so you can play the mission while still scoring Recon. It's just really good as a tac op archetype. For my kill team Tac Ops overview, I hope this gives you a better understanding of tac ops and their archetypes as a whole. They're a crucial part of the game and the key to winning. While I've given ratings to each tac op, this can vary depending on the mission, who you're playing, and who you're playing with. Although this is just a general score to give you a general idea of how good each tac op is universally. For example, a fast kill team can make Recon and Infiltrate a lot better, whereas a defensive or melee team can make Security even better than it already is. Playing really aggressive and wanting to wipe out your opponent, Seek and Destroy is probably your best bet, but even then you may consider Security as well to force the opponent to come towards you, while you can still play more defensively and wait for them to make mistakes instead of you. There are a lot of factors when it comes to tac op selection and consideration, so my best advice is to just keep practicing with your kill team and against different opponents and missions. Find out what works best for you and your kill team as a whole. Once again, for compendium kill teams, remember you have the potential to mix and match tac op archetypes for those who would not normally have access to it, so it's something you need to consider when playing compendium kill teams. Doing such things can lead to powerful and beneficial tac op combinations for yourself. Currently, Security is my favourite tac op archetype, closely followed by Recon. I used to really love Seek and Destroy, and I think it's still a good archetype to learn to play the game with, but as you play more games and more competitive games, you can find it's quite predictable and easy to punish. As I said, when I was playing in tournaments, I found tac ops from, Seek and Destroy difficult to max out, because either I would fail with my challenge and just slightly fail to kill the target and that would fall back, and then they would kill my challenger and deny me 2 VP, or just move away while still playing the mission. So they were still scoring their tac ops and primary while I was just scoring the primary, really. So it can, things change with time. And I thought I'd like Infiltrate, but I found it detracts too much from the main mission, so I think it's probably the worst. While Recon is actually really good if you have the numbers and mobility. And that surprised me more than Security, because you wouldn't think Recon would do so well, but it's also it's a weird fusion of Infiltration and Security, but still good. If only Infiltration had its tac op actions reduced to 1 AP instead of 2, it'd probably be more beneficial, because it just feels like it's really punishing for you to focus on doing infiltration Tac Ops instead of actually playing the main game. So that's pretty much it for my Tactica on Kill Team Tac Ops. Once again, it's based off of all my experience in all the games I've played as well as in tournaments, so I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to like and subscribe as well as comment. Let me know what you thought of this Tactica, and would you like to see more for Kill Team, because I'd be happy to talk about them if people want to listen. I hope this becomes a useful tool for your own learning and game experience with Kill Team. So until next time, even in Kill Team, remember you can always roll crits on the sneaky side.